20 kids with real superpowers you won't believe. Everyone loves superheroes, and once in a while, we've all wished to have at least one superpower. This dream's been fulfilled among some great kids, and you'll be amazed to know the superpowers these kids have are purely natural with mysterious backstories. Here are 20 kids with real superpowers you won't believe. It wouldn't be insane to think Jesus reincarnated as this girl, would it? Alani dos Santos is a Brazilian spiritual healer dubbed as the Little Missionary. She started preaching when she was 3, and since then seems to be God's favorite child. Her healing superpower has made her popular in Brazil and the rest of the world. She's said to have healed people suffering from terrible chronic illnesses. Ben Underwood is dubbed as the real Batman for his ability to navigate surroundings through echoes. Yes, you heard that right. When he was young, Ben lost both of his eyes to cancer. Since he didn't want to let his visual impairment stop him, he taught himself echolocation. Echolocation is the ability to detect objects that are in the surroundings by sensing echoes from them. By learning that, he was able to do normal things teenagers did, like playing video games, riding his bike, and even hanging out with his friends. He normally clicks his tongue and listens to the voice of echoes. This enables him to see even without his eyes. Just from hearing about this girl's ability, you could swear that she's a mermaid. Well, it's because they share a common ability. Their cry is worth billions. A Japanese mermaid legend states that when a mermaid cries, her tears become pearls, and they believe that's the origin of pearls. As for Hasna Muslami's tears, it's not a legend, but reality. When she was 12 years old, she felt a foreign object in her eye, and upon being taken to the doctor, 3 pieces of glass were removed from her eye. It was then known that she cries crystals. If you're wondering how she copes and if they hurt, the pieces of glass are wrapped in a gelatinous membrane, making her not feel any pain when she cries. I don't know about you, but this girl cries tears of joy, literally. The more she cries, the more she becomes rich. If those aren't tears of joy, I don't know what is. With this girl though, you don't want to be in their bad books. Her powers are the scariest powers on this list. This is because she can set things on fire using nothing but her mind. What? Whenever she thought and said something will burn, something will burn. All she has to do is say the word fire and concentrate on what she wants to light on fire, and boom! It starts burning immediately. Is she pyrokinetic or what? Do you believe in aliens? Because this kid here is believed to be one, or rather, a Martian from Mars. The boy puzzled the world when he claimed that he was from Mars and he'd been reincarnated on Earth to save humans from succumbing to a nuclear war and destroying their race. Boris's genius character makes everything he says believable. At 1.5, Boris was able to read, draw, paint, and even know everything about Mars when supposedly nobody had taught him. All the things he could do to prove that he isn't from Earth. Would you believe me if I tell you that there's a human Xray? Natasha Dumkina was only 10 when she looked at her mother's body and saw through her in X-ray vision. Since then, she's been able to scan people's bodies and diagnose them. How she got her powers is still a mystery to people. If you thought you were a genius, then you haven't met Adam Kirby. At the age of 2 years, he scored 141 on the Stanford Binet IQ test, ranking him smarter than former President Barack Obama and former British Prime Minister David Cameron. Who knew archery and acrobatics could combine and bring out a beautiful performance? Anna Bellish stunned the world with her amazing balancing tricks and ability to fire an arrow using only her feet while standing on her hands. Who said there's a certain age to be a bodybuilder? You'd think this was a normal kid until you find him doing 20 push-ups without his feet touching the ground. Giuliano Stro is the first kid that, despite his age, has a bodybuilder-like body. He's proven his worth by having his name in the Guinness Book of World Records as the first kid that broke the record for the fastest 10 meters hand walk with a weighted ball between his legs. Somewhat in the same vein as our earlier pyrokinetic discussion, Ramses Sanguino's superpower is mind reading. a gift that many people would love to have. Apart from that, he's smart and can speak more than 7 languages. Trust me, you wouldn't want to curse him in your mind. He'll hear everything. Tanish Abraham puts Adam Kirby to shame with his genius abilities. Believe it or not, this prodigy already had 3 college degrees by the time he was 11 years old. No one can compete with his intelligence. Meet the human light bulb Deepak Jangra, whose body can withstand high voltages without electrocution. His powers will make you question everything you may have learned in science, especially when you see him withstand 11,000 volts passing through his body. He's said to have acquired this power by accident when he was repairing his mother's heater. To prove his power, he once placed his hands inside a tub of water along with naked live wires. Scientists are yet to believe this shocking revelation of how electric charges can flow through his body without harming him. Deepak has described his power with electricity as a special gift from his creator. If you've ever wished to not feel pain, then take back what you wish. Because after hearing this story, you'd be thankful you feel pain. Meet Gabby Gingras, a girl who has to be accompanied all the time by someone just to keep her from injuring herself. This is because Gabby doesn't feel pain at all, and to avoid a lot of injuries, she has to wear goggles and helmets every day. What's worse is that while growing up, she used to chew her fingers and scratch her gums, forcing her parents to remove her teeth. She even poked her eye and caused the doctors to remove one eye. Ouch! Not quite sure how things are working out with the fake eye and all, but why would anyone test their limits that far? Is it possible for someone to remember everything, like literally everything? For Aurelian Heyman, yes, it is possible. Ask him what happened 6 years ago on the same date, and he'll list for you whatever he ate, what he was wearing, how the weather was, and even what the news was about on that day. Amazing, right? For an average person, unless it was an important big event, no one would remember the exact things that happened. Heyman has a rare condition called hyperthymesia that's only been diagnosed in only 20 people on Earth. Is this Iron Man's child? Well, he isn't, but with his magnetic powers, he's duped as the real Iron Kid. Ivan Stoykovich became famous at the age of 6, when he showed the whole world how several objects stuck to his body. He appears to have a very strong magnetic film on his body that allows him to attract almost 50 pounds of metal. Apart from that, magnetic waves on his body have healing properties. Scientists are puzzled how he attained his powers, since when they tried to put a compass around his neck, the compass didn't point towards him as expected, but rather pointed due north to the Earth's magnetic pole. Between us, do you think Ivan Stoykovich is magnetic? Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. Ever found someone doing something so amazing that you can't help but wonder, how did they do that? And who taught them? Those are the questions you'll ask when you hear Matthew Whitaker play a piano for the first time. He's a blind pianist, but that's not the only astounding thing. What differentiates him from other pianists is that he doesn't just play music, he plays it with 88 keys. He crafts complex harmonies, twists melodies, and improvises at a lightning speed, something that's not for the faint of heart. Like almost all super kids here, he caught the attention of the scientists, who started studying his brain as they wanted to understand his musical vision. Could this girl be having a third eye that nobody knows about? Because with such remarkable ability, it's impossible to not think of the possibility. Maya Gamada was 9 years old when the world realized her ability to read while blindfolded. That's not the only thing she can do. She can recognize alphabets, colors, gestures, and even do body scans. Medical experts all over the world were shocked by her skills, as there's no scientific explanation for her powers. Some say it's a result of meditation, since she's a very spiritual Hindu. Could it be true? What do you think? Let us know your comments in the comment section below. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this kid who has mastered the art of coding. This computer prodigy kid will make parents feel their kids are probably a disappointment. While other kids his age were playing with water guns at 4 years old, Seth Yee was busy learning programming languages, such as JavaScript, Python, and Arduino by watching online tutorials. At 6 years old, he had learned how to write his programs with the help of his dad and started coding. Did we mention that at the age of 4, he was found to have an IQ of 134? Yeah, he's that smart. He's now a peer teacher, teaching other children strategies for how to excel in video games and Minecraft. Is this a sign that we're still evolving and are catching new abilities? Well, not really. Hearing Nong Yui's story might make you think he's an alien hybrid or a star child, but he's not. Or yet, his parents are human. The existence of this kid broke out in 2009 and amazed everyone, including doctors all over the world. Nong Yui was born with a rare condition which doctors called leukoderma. He can see in the dark, and when shined upon by a flashlight, his eyes emitted a blue-green light, kind of like a cat. The name Catboy fits him perfectly, don't you think? And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and you want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it in our future videos. Well, at first, you may think this child has some mad superpowers, but unfortunately, it's a sad tale. This photo was captured to share the state of poverty in rural India and the impact of HIV and AIDS in the community. The child was simply reaching out for a coin handed to them by a well-wisher who was driving by.